Hello and welcome back to our channel. So, we have just spent an incredible 3 weeks in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and I am bringing you a video that I was going through YouTube trying to find and piece all of this information together. So, here is everything you need to know about visiting Kuala Lumpur with or without kids. You have some information and you're thinking of coming to Malaysia. A few of the things, as with any country that you're going to do research on, is the entry requirements. So we're fortunate, we have British passports, and with British passports, you get a visa on arrival. It's free and it lasts for 3 months, meaning that you can stay within the country for 3 months after you've arrived. Other countries will have different requirements, so definitely check. A lot of Western passports like the US, Canada, England, Australia, I think they get about 3 months visa on arrival. So definitely check before you come. But another thing to bear in mind on top of the actual visa is that you need an arrival card before you come. I think you can do it up to 3 days before you arrive. So go on the website, I will leave a link somewhere below, but go on the website, fill in the form. You don't have to pay for it. So if you click on a link and it's asking for payments, that's not the right one. If you're watching this video, just click on the link somewhere within the description and fill in the information. Make sure you do it for yourself and everyone that's traveling with you. People don't know a lot about Malaysia or Kuala Lumpur. They know the neighbors, right? So they know Thailand, they'll know Vietnam, they know a couple of the other countries. But when I tell people, oh, I'm going to Malaysia, they're like, Malaysia? Really? Thailand's amazing. And I'm like, okay, you obviously don't know a lot because Malaysia's infrastructure and the people are incredible. So let's go into the intro of the people, the religion, and what is the country. So Malaysia is predominantly a Muslim country, but they are very, incredibly respectful of all religions. So you'll see churches, you'll see temples. Where it's a Muslim majority, they also have a lot of Hindus and a lot of Buddhists. So the country is made up of three kind of ethnicities, if you like. So you've got Malaysians, so the people from Malaysia. You have got Indians and you've got Chinese as well. And the country is a hot pot of all of those three. So when you're walking around, you'll definitely see influences throughout the whole country of all three ethnicity groups. Another one is the language. So the main language is Malay. That is the language that the country speaks, but English is extremely widely spoken. Like the whole time we were here, and this is our third time actually in the country, but the whole time we were here, the 3 weeks, not once did we struggle to get some information or get our question across because English is very widely spoken and everyone, and I mean everyone, pretty much speaks English as well as their like Malay or their own native language. So the weather in the country, it's pretty much two. So it's hot and wet, or it's hot and dry. It's always hot. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is bear that in mind, that it will hardly ever be cold. The coldest places are in the shopping centres or when you're somewhere with aircon. But the country is extremely warm. So once you've arrived in the country, one of the first things that you're going to want to do is get a SIM card. Do it at the airport. We've made the mistake before of not doing it at the airport and coming into the city and trying to get it, but you need your passport. You're at the airport, you've already got your passport. It's very affordable. I think it cost us something like £7, between £7 to £10 for internet for the whole 3 weeks that we were there. So just do it at the airport. Don't rely on leaving the airport and getting it. You're gonna need it for as soon as you leave to get the cab anyway. And speaking about the cab, the one thing that you're going to want to do before you leave actually is download the Grab app. Downloading it before you leave means that they can send the code to your actual SIM card and you can download the app properly. So speaking about Grab, that is the best way to get around if you're trying to get a cab. Works exactly the same as Uber. You put in your destination, it tells you how much it is, and you get there. When you're leaving from the airport, and you're actually at the airport, there's a couple of things that you need to take into consideration. Firstly is how many of you are there, because once you're at the airport, there is a train that goes directly from the airport to the city centre. It's one train, you don't need to change, and it literally goes to the city centre. So if you are just one or two people, get that train. It's much more affordable and it will get you there in like 30 minutes. If you're more than two people, you're going to have to weigh up the cost. Getting a cab from the airport to the city centre is about £20. So £20 if there is 3 or 4 of you, it's pretty much, it's more affordable, especially if you've got bags. So for us, because we're 4 people, we opted for the cab, and that worked out to be much more affordable and easier for us, especially £20. The airport from the city centre is about an hour. So if you consider how much we pay for cabs back home, an hour for £20 is absolutely ridiculous. But it's very affordable, like I said. So if you've got a lot of luggage or there's more than 2 of you, I would say just get the cab. But remember, you need internet to use Grab. So you would have listened to me and you would have got the SIM card at the airport. So you can come out, go outside of the airport, get your Grab, be on your way straight to the city centre. So we've only ever stayed in one place really every time we've gone. And I've made a video that I will put somewhere of the accommodation that we stayed at. So it's called Star Residence. It's right slap bang in the middle of the city centre, literally 5 minutes away from Petronas Towers. And for us that worked really well because it meant that we had several train stations within walking distance. It meant that we could get cabs really easily, and not just that, but we could walk everywhere. We had a shopping centre just behind the building that if we just wanted to go get a couple of things, we would just leave, walk a couple of minutes and be at the shopping centre. So for us, staying in that KLCC area, so the Kuala Lumpur city centre area, really made it a lot more easier. A few of the main touristy places to stay is Bukit Bintang. So again, that's a really popular area, still central, you've got everything you need there. There's shopping centres, nightlife. Bukit Bintang is also a fantastic area. So for me, the 2 places, especially if you're coming for a short amount of time, that I would consider staying in is the KLCC area and also Bukit Bintang area. Those are the 2 that's probably going to make it very easy to get around. So with moving around, KLCC is one of the most, for me anyway, accessible cities that I think I've ever been to in terms of moving from one place to another. They have a fantastic train system. Honestly, one of the most easiest train systems that I've seen to move around. It's really, really easy to get from one place to another. And they also have female carriages, like carriages on their train that is only accessible to women. I found that incredible. Like imagine you're coming home from a late night, you've just come home from work or spending time with your friends, and you're getting a train home. Ladies, we've all been there, right? Imagine being in a train car that no men can enter or be in. I mean, it's open, like the whole train is open, but I found that incredible, and I don't know why they don't have it in literally every single city in, like that's got a metro or train system. But their trains are incredibly new, incredibly clean, very affordable. So train is one of your go-tos if you're moving around the city. Another one is buses. So their buses again are new, clean, very accessible, so you can move around by bus. One of our most favourite, and probably not eco-friendly way of getting around, was Grabs. Each Grab ride that we took was £2, £3, £4 at a max. So again, if there's a group of you, it's probably the best way to get around is using the Grab app. Let's go through a few things that there is to do. Some of these are good for families and some of them, actually all of it is good for families. I mean, we did it and we've got a 2-year-old. But it's also good for people that are just wanting to go around and see Kuala Lumpur. So first up, and I guess the most obvious, so let's get it out of the way, is the Petronas Towers. So these are the tallest twin towers on the planet. And it was the tallest structure, I think, up until, I want to say 1993. If there is a correction, I'll put it on the screen. But 1993, it was the tallest towers in the world, but it still is the tallest twin towers on Earth. So the Petronas Towers is one of the places that you're going to want to say you saw if you came to Kuala Lumpur. And it's pretty hard to miss. I mean, it towers over the whole city. So if you're in Kuala Lumpur, you're going to see it. But one of the things that you're going to want to do is actually go up to it. So when you are at the actual Petronas Towers area, you can go all the way up. So we haven't done that yet because I'm in the mind of thinking sometimes what you want to see is what you're on. So we didn't actually go up onto the Kuala Lumpur Towers, but I think tickets up to the top are quite affordable. So I don't think you're going to get out a second mortgage to go up to the top. So if you did want to, It's very accessible, and you could just come down. I do know, and I did when I was doing my research here, that tickets sell out. So you're probably going to want to pre-buy the tickets versus coming to the towers and learning that it's sold out for the day. So definitely do that. But once you're also going up or walking around the tower, there is a shopping centre inside. So go in, there's a food court, so have something to eat, walk around the actual Surya KLCC shopping tower. And after you're done there, they have a fantastic park right at the back of the Petronas Towers. Now this, because it was walking distance from us, was one of our favourite places to go just for a chill, relax afternoon and evening. They have a free water park for the kids. So bring swimsuits if you're trying to use the water park. And the kids can just splash around and they can play with other kids. It's actually such a wonderful thing. It's got a huge park for the kids to play in as well, an actual park. And it's also stunning. It's clean, there are toilets, you can walk around, you can explore, take some food and sit there and let the kids splash about. Or if it's just you and your other half, or just you, just go and sit there for a couple of hours, walk across the bridge. Like, it is a stunning park to go and explore for an hour or two. So definitely have that on your list as well. Another thing that you're going to find on all of your Kuala Lumpur lists is Batu Caves. So we have actually been to Batu Caves all 3 times that we have gone to Kuala Lumpur, because it is one of those things that you do. Firstly, it's free, so it doesn't cost anything to actually go up. Secondly, it looks harder than it is. I think it's like 200 odd steps. I don't know the exact number, I'll put it somewhere here. And it's not as hard as you think it's going to be. So when you go to Kuala Lumpur, definitely give Batu Caves a visit. It's free. It's about 20 or so minutes drive from the KLCC, so the city centre, and you can easily take a grab there. So one thing that we did pay to go up was KL Tower, which looks like the CN Tower in Toronto. It is a tall structure. You take a lift all the way up and it's got pretty much 360 views across the whole city. The reason that we paid for this and not the Petronas Towers is because when you're in the structure, you can actually see the Petronas Towers. So for me, it was worth it because that's what I wanted to see. And tickets when we went last year were quite affordable. I can't remember exactly how much, but they weren't a lot at all. So we opted to go on the KL Tower to see the Petronas Towers, but you might opt the other way. So KL Towers is, again, somewhere that you should definitely go and see. So 2 cultural hubs that you're going to want to see when you go to Kuala Lumpur is Little India and Chinatown. Little India for shopping. They have amazing saris, beautiful hijabs, like random things that you're going to want to see and buy. Jewelry, for example, and food. Chinatown, that is where you're going to see a lot of those fake, real shopping. So if you want that Gucci bag, if you want that Louis purse, go to Chinatown because they have fantastic markets. Haggle your way into buying some of the things that you want, but also food for Chinatown as well. One place that we did see, and we did go to this time with the kids, was KL Eco Forest Park. It is such an incredible, it blew my mind because it's right in the city and you feel like you're somewhere completely different. There is canopies, there is monkeys, there are just random things in this huge forest in the city. Entrance was, I can't remember, but I'll put it on screen. So entrance was, it was very affordable. I think for 5 of us, don't quote me because it will be on screen, but I think it was about £15. And we spent about an hour or 2 there, which was incredible. We walked across the canopies. It is quite a bit of a walk, so if you are not very mobile, maybe just stay on the lower floor, because to get to the canopies you do have to take some steps, and from the people that we went with, one of them completely bowed out halfway. But the views are worth it, the cost is worth it. It's definitely something that you should do as a family. Incredible views and just a great experience in the city as well. So one of the things that we don't normally have the opportunity to do, especially being a traveling family, a lot of the places that we go to aren't necessarily Muslim countries. But as I was saying before, Kuala Lumpur is predominantly Muslim, and one thing that they did have was an Islamic arts museum, which I've never been to one before. And it was something that when we read it, when we saw, we were like, let's definitely go. So we went to the Islamic Arts Museum in Kuala Lumpur, and it was stunning. You have so many different structures, you have so many different paintings, sculptures, artifacts. If you are or aren't Muslim, it is definitely somewhere that I recommend. It's anyone that loves a museum will love this. There are several levels, several floors, all of them dedicated to different things. You get to see different jewelry, sculptures. Like I said, there's countless things to do and see, and we were there for about 2 hours, so we really took our time in having a look and going through all the different artifacts and reading. And we was with our oldest, so we were getting her to read basically everything to just learn about the history, and there's not a lot of times that you have the opportunity to see like Islamic art, so it's definitely somewhere or definitely something that I would put on my list for Kuala Lumpur. Bukit Bintang is another area that will be on every single Kuala Lumpur list, so make sure it's on yours. It is basically the nightlife-y area of Kuala Lumpur, but it's not necessarily the nightlife-y area of Kuala Lumpur. They have a lot of food, a lot of shisha cafes, a lot of like Arab type cuisines that I saw there, but it's also where the Pavilion shopping centre is. So if you are a shopping centre fan, Pavilions is one of the ones that you're going to want to see whilst you're in Kuala Lumpur. So we've spoken a little bit about shopping centres, and one of the ones that you're going to want to see is TRX. So it's a brand new shopping centre right in Kuala Lumpur. It's also where the first Apple store in the whole bloody country was, or is. I had no idea that they didn't have Apple in the whole country, but they've recently just opened one. It's in TRX. You can go and have a look. Another thing that's in TRX is the largest rooftop public park. There is a lot of things for the kids to do there. There is parks, there are waterfall features, there's like little riding things outside. Like, it's definitely a place that if you've got some time, go have a look. There's several things to do there, several things to eat, as with any shopping centres, but definitely give it a look. Food. So every time we travel, we love to try local food or things that we don't necessarily get in the UK. A lot of the times, because we're Muslim or we're halal eaters, it's really difficult. Like, one of the things people will say is, oh my God, it's so affordable. Oh my God, the food was wonderful. And then you get there and you realise that none of it is halal. You can't eat anything. Halal food is not affordable. So the country that you went to that you thought food would be affordable, it isn't, because you can't eat any of the food. But Malaysia, for Muslims or non-Muslims, 99% of the food is halal. So anything that I list, you can pretty much go anywhere and try straight away. So a few of the food, and note this down because these are some of the things that you're going to want to try when you get to Malaysia, is nasi lemak. So nasi lemak is pretty much Malaysia's national dish. When we went to Wanjo's, which is probably one of the more famous places for tourists to go and try. It was amazing, very affordable. I think 3 of us ate with drinks for about £10, and I will try and find a video and place it here of what the food looks like. You basically go in, it's a bit canteen styley. You go in, they fill the plate with rice and an egg, and then you tell them which protein that you want, and then you go to the counter, order your drink, and then you pay. So if you do end up going there, that's essentially the flow. So nasi lemak, put that on your list. Roti canai. So we were obsessed with roti canai because it's so affordable. I keep talking about affordable, but I made a short, just have a look in my shorts, of one of the restaurants that we went to that was across the road from our accommodation, and you can see what we ordered and how much we paid. So roti canai was, again, one of our favourites because it's so affordable, very filling, tastes incredible, and it's very widely available. So wherever you're staying, there's probably a place that serves roti canai not far from you. Roti boy, you're going to see them everywhere. You're going to want to try them. Our favourite was the buttermilk one and just the standard roti boy. They were about 3 ringgit, if I remember correctly. Which works out to about 50p per roll. But when you're there, if you see roti boy, just stop and try it, because just thank me later. Also, a few drinks that you're going to want to try is Kopi and Milo. Whenever you are in any one of these restaurants, you will see Kopi or Milo on the menu. Try them. Just try them. Kopi is coffee. And then Milo is like a malt chocolatey drink. Just try them. Just order one of each, try it, see if you like it. It's something that's pretty unique to this part of the world, so just give it a try. If you don't like it, no harm, no foul. Another thing that I'm going to quickly go into is the medical care in Kuala Lumpur. So as some of you know, we have a type 1 diabetic daughter. So in this journey, we did have to use medical facilities twice. So one for a GP service and another one for the hospital. And one of my siblings also got a full body medical check, which I'll go into a little bit later. So the GP service that we used was within the Twin Towers. So the Petronas Towers on the 4th or 6th floor is a doctor's, like a general practitioner medical service. So I think it's called Twin Towers Medical Centre. In there, we just wanted to make sure, we just wanted to check something out to do with her. So we had a consultation. So it was just a walk-in as well. We didn't have to make an appointment. We walked in, we got given a number, we sat down, and within 20 minutes, we were in front of a doctor. So we had a medical consultation. They took a urine sample, they did a urine analysis, and then it ended with another consultation to talk about the results, and we got given antibiotics. And all of that came up to, I will put the total right there because I can't remember, but all of that was incredibly affordable. I walked away with my mouth on the floor because I was like, in the UK, you'd be waiting a week, maybe 2, just for the appointment alone, and forget about bloody urine, because that's going to take about another week. And then you're going to have to wait a couple of days for the doctor to call you back. All of that happened within 2 hours. When they took the urine, they were like, go for lunch, come back in 30 minutes, and then you can see the doctor. We went for lunch, we came back in 30 minutes, and then our number was called pretty much straight away, and we were sat in front of the GP. Another time we had to use the medical facility was for an overnight. So we had a bit of an issue with the younger one's diabetes, so we had to go in overnight just for basically monitoring. So we walked in, we were given a bed, and we spoke with the doctor, who was very knowledgeable about type 1 diabetes. We had a conversation, spent the night there. At the end of the night, went to go pay, in the morning, went to go pay the bill, and it came up to £16. £16 for an overnight stay in a foreign hospital, easy access to the doctor. They spoke English very well, explained everything, and it cost us £16, which is, yeah, I'll leave that with you. Another thing that Malaysia is known for is medical tourism. So a lot of people come here and they get various different checks done because it is affordable and it's easy access. So one of my siblings 2 days before booked a full body health check. So I think it includes things like x-rays, like chest x-ray, abdominal ultrasound, blood test, BMI check, various different other things. And it cost them £168. So you basically go there at 8 a.m. You go from room to room to room. So one will do like an eye exam, another one will do the ultrasound, etc., etc. They give you a lunch voucher to go and get lunch after you've had all your checks. You go and get lunch, and then you come back at like 3 o'clock or whatever to go and see the consultant to go through all of your results. They do have add-ons, so you can do like a mammogram or MRI or CAT scan, etc., etc. And those I think costed differently as well. All of that for £168. Which again, anyone that's from any of the Western countries, they could never. I mean, you would be waiting for a considerable amount of time for each of those individually, let alone getting it all in one place and on the same day and getting your results within the same day as well. So if you are here and you've got a bit of time and there are some concerns and you're struggling a little bit where whatever country that you're from, come and get one of those checks done. So I can vouch for Sunway Lagoon because my sibling went there and they had nothing but good things to say. But there are several different hospitals that do it. So do a bit of research, pick the one that you want, get an appointment. A lot of it is done via WhatsApp. So if you go on the website, click on the WhatsApp link, it's pretty, I know for a lot of us in other countries, it seems really dodgy, like why am I WhatsApping this whole hospital? But that is quite normal here, so feel free to use WhatsApp to message them. So another thing, anytime that I'm going into a country that I want to know is what is the bloody plug? What is the plug that I need to bring with me when I'm coming to the country? So because we're traveling for 6 months, we'll bring a plug extension that it's essentially worldwide. But for some people that are just going to 1 or 2 countries, you want to know the plug. So the plug for Malaysia is the UK plug. So anyone that's coming from the UK, bring your things. You don't need an extension or an adapter or anything else. bring your plug, you're good to go. For anyone else that is not from the UK, search UK plug. It's basically, I will put a picture here because I wouldn't even know how to begin to describe it, but the plug is here. So the currency in Malaysia is Malaysian ringgit. So right now, £1 equals 5.7 Malaysian ringgit.